All right, let's talk about a real game changer for a classic airplane. Sticking a modern TAE 125 diesel engine in a Piper PA-28. Now, if you've got a lot of hours with the old school Lycoming, you're going to want to listen up because things are different. Let's get into it.
Look, this isn't just about a new engine, it's a completely new philosophy of engine management. We've basically taken the official pilot's operating handbook supplement and boiled it all down to the absolute must-know critical points for flying one of these safely.
So let's start with the heart of the matter. This new engine, the TA 125, is a liquid-cooled, turbocharged diesel. Right away, that's a world apart from the air-cooled AVGS engines most of us grew up with. Everything from how it sounds to how you handle an emergency, it's all new.
And the scope of the change is huge. We're going from manually fiddling with a mixture and throttle to a single computer-controlled power lever. We're swapping out 100 LL AV-gas for Jet A1, we're ditching air cooling for a liquid-cooled system with a radiator, and maybe the biggest deal of all, we're replacing magnetos with a fully electronic ignition. Each one of these changes has major implications.
The core of this new system is something called FADEC. The easiest way to think about it is as the engine's dedicated brain. It's a computer that manages everything: fuel flow, propeller pitch, turbo boost, all through that one single level. It makes your life way simpler in the cockpit, but, and this is a big but, it also creates a brand new dependency. Which brings us to probably the most important part of this whole briefing, the new limitations. And listen, these aren't just suggestions. These are the hard and fast rules from the POH supplement that have a direct impact on the safety of your flight.
And here it is. This one sentence is the single biggest mental shift you have to make. With a traditional engine, you've got magnetos that make their own spark. You could have a total electrical failure and that engine would just keep on running. Not anymore. This diesel engine absolutely requires electricity to run. The FADEC, the ignition, the fuel pumps, it all needs power.
So, what happens if that electrical power goes away? Well, if you lose both your main alternator and the ship's battery, a special FADEC backup battery automatically takes over. But here's the catch. It will only run the engine for a maximum of 30 minutes. That's it. 30 minutes, and then the engine shuts down. That is your absolute drop-dead time limit to find a place to land.
Let's just connect the dots here so it's perfectly clear. An alternator failure is no longer just an inconvenience where you lose your radios. It is now the first step toward a potential engine failure. And a total electrical failure, losing the alternator and the main battery, isn't a possibility of engine failure, it is a guarantee of engine failure in 30 minutes or less.
And there are a few other new rules you've got to know. You can't use a ground power unit to start this engine. Why? Because the POH wants to make sure your main battery is healthy enough to support the system on its own. The engine also has mandatory warm-up temperatures, 50 Celsius for oil, 60 for the coolant, and you have to hit those before you take off. And finally, you have to be absolutely meticulous about your fluids. Only approved Jet A1 or diesel, and very specific oils and coolants, no exceptions.
Okay, so what does this mean for just our normal day-to-day flying? Well, the new procedures, especially on the ground, are all built around one thing: making sure that FADEC system is 100% healthy before you even think about heading for the runway.
This right here is your new mag check, and it is absolutely non-negotiable. With the engine idling, you press and hold the test button. The system then runs a self-test, automatically switching between its two independent computer channels, FADEC A and FADEC B. You'll watch the RPM cycle up and down as it checks each channel and the prop governor. You are literally watching the engine's brain confirm that everything is working.
And the handbook could not be more clear on this. It says, and I'm quoting here, if the FDAC indicators do not come on, the test procedure has failed and takeoff should not be attempted. If this test doesn't go exactly as planned, you do not fly. Period. End of story. It is a critical no-go item.
So what do we do when things actually go wrong in the air? Let's walk through the most important new emergency procedure you need to have down cold: an alternator failure.
So imagine you're cruising along, everything's fine, and then, bam, you see it. A big red alter fail message on your screen, or a red alternator warning lights. Your electrical system is no longer charging the battery. And as of that moment, the clock is officially ticking.
Your memory items are pretty straightforward. First, you've got to verify it's a real failure. Glance at the ammeter and confirm you have a discharge. Then, you get one shot to reset the alternator switch and its circuit breaker. Just once. If that doesn't bring it back online, your #1 priority becomes preserving the main battery.
Start shedding electrical load, right now. Turn off everything you don't absolutely need to fly the plane and land safely.
And this is exactly why you shed that load. You're trying to keep that main battery alive for as long as possible, because that extends your total time before you're relying on that 30-minute backup. As soon as that alternator fails for good, your mindset needs to be, I should land as soon as is practical. If your main battery then gives up, that mindset needs to immediately accelerate to, I need to land as soon as possible, right now.
So let's wrap this all up. Think of this as your final mental checklist, the 5 key things you need to have burned into your brain before you even walk out to a diesel-powered PA-28.
Number 1. Electricity is life. Your ammeter is now just as important as your oil pressure gauge. Watch it. 2. Know your fluids. Be that pilot who double-checks the fuel receipt and is super careful on pre-flight. 3. Warm-up is mandatory. Be patient, let the engine get to its happy place. 4. Trust that FADEC check. It is your best friend on the ground. Do not ever skip it. And number 5. Plan for failure. An alternator failure now means you land soon. A total electrical failure means you land now.
Look, the diesel PA-28 is an amazing, incredibly efficient machine. It's fantastic, but it absolutely demands a modern mindset from the pilot. It's not harder to fly, not at all. It's just different. So the real question is, are you ready for that difference? Fly safe out there.